Hey everybody, this is Natalie from Power Moon Tarot. This morning I'm bringing to you a special reading and it's called What is Your Power Animal for 2020 and Why? What message does your power animal have for you? So if you enjoy this reading, please like, share, and subscribe. And also, excuse me. Also, the link will be in the comments to the timestamps for each one of the videos. So in order to work with this reading, you'll want to use your intuition to guide you to the pile that you think is most appropriate for you. And again, this is a general reading, so everything may not resonate. Please take what does and leave the rest. So right here, I have an emerald. This is for pile number 1. This is a raw emerald. For pile number 2, I have a serpentine stone from the Pacific Northwest. And for pile number 3, I have this Smoky quartz crystal. So for those of you that resonate with pile 1, pile 2, or pile 3, I'll leave a link in the comments to the timestamps so that you can go straight to your reading. Now with that said, let us begin. I'm going to move the other piles to the side here. I have pre-shuffled the piles. I don't know what's in the piles, but I've pre-shuffled to save time. So we have the raw emerald for pile number 1. This is your reading, and the question is, what is your power animal for 2020, and what message does your power animal have for you in 2020? Okay, so let's just anchor into the energy. Okay, so you got the pig. Use your mind wisely. Right away at the beginning of the reading, I felt a little bit of anxiety or a little bit of trepidation. And so this card could be talking about getting a bit more control over the mind and the fear-based or anxiety-inducing thoughts that the mind can create during the day. And, you know, some of us wake up with just anxiety or worry on our minds, and that's difficult and challenging. But the pig spirit is here to tell you to use your mind wisely. And I also think this is a bit of a funny card too, because this pig has wings, and clearly this pig can fly, and there's always that saying, well, that'll happen when pigs can fly. So we need to also probably understand that our minds like to find something to do, and they like to move in circles. And it may or may not be good for us what our minds are doing, and we may need to sink into a calm and a peaceful inner knowing. And so let's see why this message is coming up for you as a power animal for 2020. Okay, so pile number 1, this card I feel like for some reason doesn't want to fit in. But this is, maybe that's you too. Maybe you're a pig that could fly and you don't fit in. So, and also here we see a bird with a person on it that's flying. And I'm gonna move this emperor over here with the heart chakra. We're in an emperor year anyway for 2020. 2020 breaks down to a 4. That's the emperor. The emperor is all about stability and taking up space, right? The emperor has his legs spread right here. It's more of a yang energy, although the tarot doesn't, have any masculine. It's not directly masculine or feminine energy, but you can see there's these vast mountain ranges in the background, and the emperor is taking up space. So it might be that you need to take up space in your mind and take up resonance in your mind. And it shows the reason why you received the pig spirit is because you're learning about perspective. So there might be so many varying opinions coming up around and behind you here with this perspective card. But at the end of the day, it's your perspective that wins out. And even here, it looks like she might even be pregnant too. So I know my sister is a pig in Chinese astrology, and she just had a baby. So that could be having to do with that. But it shows that your heart chakra, so as we know, the mind is always in service to the heart. And that's why when we pray, we bow our heads, because we're touching the mind to the heart, and we're showing energetically that we bow to the heart. And so that could be, you know, the other reason why you're being reminded to use your mind wisely, and that the mind can be funny and silly at times, and it's okay to be funny and silly. It shows here with this Knight of Swords, Four of Swords, and Five of Pentacles that things have been a little dreary. And maybe mentally dreary, and maybe that's because you've been waiting for something. You've been waiting for results, and so you've been nervous. I know I took a really big exam early on in my career, and I had to wait for 4 different results, and and it wasn't easy. There was a lot of anxiety and worry that was going on. Maybe you're in the middle of exams and you're waiting for results. So, or maybe you had a health scare and you're awaiting the results of a biopsy or something like that, or yeah, and your mind is playing a little bit of tricks on you. Now with this Knight of Swords here, so the Knight of Swords is very speedy, and you can see this person is riding, looks like riding an eagle with the sword in the air like that. And so the Knight of Swords, if there's any knight that needs to use their mind, make sure to use their mind wisely, it's the Knight of Swords, because the Knight of Swords can be too quick to speak. They're very intelligent, they have a lot to say, but they maybe need to listen a little bit more, and that's where perspective is coming in here. Also with the Four of Swords, this person is bringing a little tiny flower to a grave. Normally in this picture with the Four of Swords, it's somebody taking rest. So maybe you also need to take some rest. And with the Five of Pentacles, it just shows that, you know, maybe there has been some dialogue around and some worry around a situation in your life where you can't quite make it happen, right? It's the awaiting results. It's not there yet. Their hands are not quite touching, and she's trying to cover herself, and she's still covered up. And so I think you're in a holding pattern or a waiting pattern here, and you're having to just rest and relax while you are in this pattern. So for those of you that chose pile number 1, I wanted to read from the Colette Baron Reed, the Spirit Animal Oracle, a little bit about your pig here. So let's find out about the pig. Okay. Pig spirit appears to remind you of the right to use intelligence, a gift we all have that is meant to be used with love, compassion, and discernment. Intelligence means recognizing the value of intuition partnered with smarts and common sense, which leads to intelligent solutions. When pig spirit appears, you are called to respect your analytical mind and use it for its highest good. Recognizing all the facts must be considered even when they do not fit in with what you know already. Spirit blesses us with wisdom when we allow pig spirit to nudge us into open-minded, thoughtful dialogues, whether it is with others or internally, as we mull over our ideas and what we have come to understand. You are intelligent and capable of clear-minded thinking and shaped by the wisdom you have accumulated. And intuition will tell you that when you have more learning to do because not all the facts are in. Now is a time when your decision-making powers are reliable, for you are in alignment with pig spirit's keen intelligence, right? So you're going to get a lot of perspective from being aligned with the pig, and the Knight of Wands too, and the Emperor. You're going to get a lot of perspective on things that might have been unclear before, and because you're going to have alignment with your heart. And even though you're awaiting results and might be in a holding pattern, your Knight of Swords, the Knight of Swords at its most positive is really clear and concise about what they want to communicate. So for those of you that chose pile number 1, that's your reading. Okay. Thank you, pile number 1. And we'll move on to pile number 2. Pile number 2 is the Serpentine stone here, Pacific Northwest Serpentine. Okay. And we're asking the question for you, pile number 2. What is your power animal for 2020? And what message does your animal have for you? Ooh, pretty. Oh, butterfly. Transformation is beautiful. So you really are changing a lot in 2020, and this is an 11 too, which the other one, the previous pile 1 added up to an 11 too. Number 11 is always my oddball number. It's always a little eccentric and different, and so maybe you're embracing that. Also, transformation would indicate there is something that needs to go, and that maybe you've been in a cocoon phase for a while, and then in 2020 it's actually going to release. And like here I see so many butterflies just releasing out, and so you could go through many transformations in 2020, many revolutions as a result of the cocooning and the work that you've done ahead of this transformation that is really allowing this transformation to be very potent for you. Potent. I can't say the word. Anyway, you know what I mean. So let's see why the butterfly is with you this year. Oh, yeah. Oh. Ooh. Wow. Okay. So the butterfly is with you, pile number 2, because the 7 of Swords, you've been through some really tough situations in the past, and you've had to hang on for dear life. And things haven't always been as they seem, right? Like you thought things were one way, things actually went another way. You've been and like I said in the beginning, you've been in a chrysalis, and you've been in a cocoon, in a holding pattern with the Hangman. But this shows, I love how he's touching his feet, and he's making a shape here. Because you can see that it wasn't without, there was a reason for it. There wasn't, it wasn't just pure madness in the universe. This to me also shows that the caterpillar spirit is with you, because caterpillar, I said caterpillar. Well, maybe the caterpillar spirit was with you pre-2020, and now the butterfly spirit is with you in 2020. This shows you that the butterfly spirit is going to be giving you an upgrade to your throat chakra and your third eye chakra. So if you felt like limited as to speaking your truth, and you couldn't be who you were, you couldn't say what you thought, or what you said wasn't valued in the past, or that somebody else with this 7 of Swords was kind of running the show, like with their conversation and their views, and wasn't even letting you get a word in edgewise, that is all going to change in 2020 for you. And then also just in the past, you might have been feeling really shut down from a throat chakra perspective because you just didn't feel it was worth it. You just didn't feel that anything that you were, like ideas were trying to come through to you, but you were kind of like turning away from them or just not feeling up to it, you know, in 2019 and prior, just really not feeling up to it. And it shows here the reason why you weren't feeling up to that is because you've been through some deception and some situations that were very unsavory. And so that's why you were in that cocoon phase for quite a while. But the Fool is amazing here because the Fool is the first card 0 of the major arcana, and the Fool is just blowing the door wide open. It's saying, no more. You are, basically what's going on here too is an eclipse. So eclipses we have 6 eclipses in 2016. In 2020, we have 6 eclipses, and it's quite a lot of eclipse energy. So how I see that is the astrology is also supporting your transformation in 2020. Is very much supporting the growth work that you're doing, and that you're gonna have so many opportunities in 2020 to start over and start anew. So that's really great. And then the other thing here I see is magnetism. So the butterfly is extremely beautiful, and you know, transformation is I feel very exotic and beautiful, and it's very hypnotizing. If you think of a Scorpio, how their eyes can be sort of hypnotizing, excuse me, can be sort of hypnotizing, and how they can really draw you in with their energy and their eyes. And it's not just Scorpios that can do that, other signs can do that too, but maybe that's something that you'll have in 2020 when people are riding along the edge of, you know, when they're riding along that edge of trying new things and doing new things and going to new places and opening up their energy. It's really beautiful, and it really attracts others. It's really magnetic to other people. And I think you're gonna find like people just kind of drawn to you this year too in 2020. And then if there's still any like holding pattern left over, it just shows here with the Fool and the Hangman that you will have new beginnings, and you will have times during the year still where you're going to pause and you're going to figure out, okay, is this working for me or not? And you've become an expert at that because you were in the caterpillar stage, in the cocoon phase for quite a long time. So you will know when it's time to pause and when it's time to move forward in 2020. So pile number 1, pile number 2, I'm sorry, that's your reading. You beautiful butterflies. Thank you, pile number 2. Okay, so with that, let's move on to pile number 3. If you chose pile number 3, you chose the Smoky Quartz. Okay, this is a really nice Smoky Quartz. I like it a lot. Okay, so for pile number 3, what power animal is with you in 2020 and why? Oh, koi fish. Ah. Oh, yeah. Oh. All right, so pile number 3, already with the koi fish. I feel like you could travel in 2020. I definitely am feeling like you might go and travel to someplace tropical or Asia, or even just someplace that has a lot of nature and is really beautiful. Pile number 3, koi fish, says there was always enough. So this card is talking about abundance. It's talking about knowing that you have all the resources that you need in order to keep going. You know, if it felt like things were stark in the past, I think in the past, you know, this 9 of chalices, usually the Nine of Chalices shows like a bunch of food and a bunch of cups lined up and somebody that has a whole bunch of stuff around them. But this one shows that even though you might have had a lot, I'm hearing even if you had a lot internally in the past, externally, your situation didn't always reflect that. And it looks like in 2020, the koi fish is here to bring you some good luck. So when I think of the koi fish, this number 36 reduces down to a 9, which 9s are always about luck to me, good luck. And 9s feel like very Jupiter, Sagittarius type energy to me. So good luck is with you in 2020, pile number 3. And it shows that whenever temperance comes up for me, it's a sign that your guides are with you and your spirit guides are with you and they're listening. Also, this is a Sagittarius card as well. And this card is about moderation, but it's also about, you know, you can have moderation and take some risks, and you can travel and you can try new things. And you're going to do it in a way that is very calm and careful. You're not going to go crazy with it. So temperance is also about an adventure to me as well as the divine alchemist, because she's mixing these two amounts, or these two items from the 2 cups. And so she's really tapped into alchemy and the change that we go through and how we can take 2 seemingly unrelated things and make something new from them. And so that also is energy that's coming for you as well in 2020, pile number 3. And this unity card just shows that as well. When the divine alchemist and the mixing of 2 different things here, you can see she's holding onto the globe and she's brought it all together. So there's a huge unity energy for you in 2020, pile number 3. And if you felt like your external circumstances did not mirror your inner need or your inner growth, maybe you had a lot of inner growth in 2020 and you did a lot of things, but your external circumstances didn't really show that. That's going to change for you in 2020, because the King of Pentacles is at the middle of your reading here. So the King of Pentacles is very front and center for you for 2020. So the King of Pentacles really has everything that he needs. He's very focused on the practical elements of life. The King of Pentacles, he or she is a businessman, and he or she does not make decisions lightly. If he or she makes a move, it's going to be with intention, and it's going to be because it's a well thought out move, and it's going to be a move that is, what do I want to say? It's going to be not self-interested, but it's going to be self-fulfilling, right? So it's going to be something that adds to abundance, right? And then with the 6 of Swords, I love the water here with this beautiful waterfall and this rainbow, because it looks like the koi fish is just going to be swimming in this water, like right next to you, in the 6 of Swords here, which is pretty funny. And that's why I was picking up also on the travel energy. And it looks like, you know, maybe you could travel with your family, and that you would have a lot of fun, and you could go someplace like tropical with waterfalls, someplace that is warm. Probably it looks like someplace that rains a lot, like maybe a Hawaii or something like that. So that's what I'm seeing for you, pile number 3. I think you're gonna heal, have a lot of healing. You're gonna blossom in 2020. You're going to see all the internal work that you've done take root and flower in your external life, which is amazing. So healing is beginning for you in 2020. Thank you, pal number 3. And like I said, again, I'm Natalie with Power Moon Tarot. Please like, share, and subscribe if you enjoyed these videos. Thank you, and have a great 2020, everyone.